It is Pollinator Week. It's National Pollinator Month, and we should care because pollinators are essential for the health of our planet, for the survival of many plants and animals, even humans. Kate Terrell from Wallace's Garden Center is back with us today. Kate, welcome back.
Thanks for having us. Yeah. Thanks for getting us out of the greenhouse and into the studio.
On this very, very warm day, as we've heard numerous times. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What are pollinators? What do we need to know about them, and why do they matter for people that might be unfamiliar?
So pollinators, you know, for a long time we were kind of afraid of them. It's like, oh, I don't want bees near my house. And then as our, world has changed, we've realized that we need bees, the butterflies, the dragonflies, the hoverflies, to pollinate not only the food that we eat, but fruits and vegetables, but they also just kind of keep our entire ecosystem going.
Yeah.
And so they're small, but they are numerous, and we need to help them out. We've destroyed a lot of their habitat, and not only, with farming, which now we're getting a lot of changes in that again, where we're starting to replant our roadways and waterways. And then also a lot of people are changing their lawns back from just lawn to adding the flowers back in.
Yeah.
So.
No, that was going to be my next question. We can truly garden and landscape and keep pollinators in mind. And there are plenty of ways to do that. And you guys at Wallace's can help us with that if we have no idea what we're doing. For example, you brought so many beautiful things with you today, but these are flowers that are more for, you said, hummingbirds.
Yep, over on your side, those are all really popular hummingbird plants.
They're
so
beautiful.
Hummingbirds are drawn to pinks and reds. They are also drawn to a lot of trumpet-shaped flowers. They have a very long tongue to extract nectar from flowers. So, and they actually have to feed about 3 times per hour. So they have a very, very, very high metabolism. You've seen them, how fast they move. So they need a constant source of nectar. So it's really important to have not only perennials that come back every year, but also annuals that provide flowers all season long.
You know what's funny about that too? I think of, and maybe you can't, necessarily plant all of these flowers in your garden or wherever you live for whatever reason. People have those like hummingbird feeders too, where they just come out and they kind of drink that sugary water. But if you incorporated some of these, you would get to enjoy the hummingbirds as well, and it would be just beneficial all around.
It is, yeah. Hummingbird feeders are great too if you don't have room to plant a garden. But even if you live in an apartment with a balcony, you can put a window box or a flower pot with blooming flowers on it, and you will see hummingbirds. Okay. So they, especially once they find you, they come back. They have memory as they migrate through, or if they live in the area over the summer, they will come back. It's like they find their favorite restaurant and
they'll go to
just
Morgan's
keep coming back
for dinner. So on this side of the table today, so what are these flowers more beneficial for? I see some butterflies in there.
So these are our butterfly flowers. Butterflies like the flowers on the other side too, but butterflies tend to go towards flowers that have kind of these little landing pads where they have these groups of flowers that are kind of a flat cluster where they can land and kind of stand there and drink. And all of these flowers are great for the bees. So if you are trying to encourage bees and honeybees as your pollinators, they are all going to go to these as well. With butterflies, it's important to also not only think of the butterfly itself, but what comes before the butterfly, which is the caterpillar. So we did bring some milkweed plants, and we'll have them on special all week, and the milkweeds are really important. This particular one is where the monarch lays her eggs, and it's the only plant where she will lay her eggs.
Really?
So if you want monarchs, gotta have some room for some milkweed.
And they're gonna have a special on that. That's good to know.
Yes.
So we want to talk a little bit more about Wallace's commitment to the health of pollinators, and you have a beehives partnership. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we have an apple orchard on the property in Bettendorf. We have over 650 apple trees, and the best way to pollinate apple trees is with bees, so we do have beehives on the property. We have a couple kind of hobbyist beekeepers on staff, and then we have a professional beekeeper that helps us treat our hives before the winter and keep things going. And we recently had our hive did so well over the winter that it kind of got too big for its britches and split in two, so they just set up another hive box for them.
That's awesome.
So,
Gone are the days when we're just allowed to swat at all of the bees, right? We got to realize
That's
how
right.
important they are.
So-
You also operate a pollinator garden and butterfly enclosure. So I'm assuming that it's going to be a lot of the plants and flowers that you brought today.
Yes, we planted them into the ground. We had one for a few years, and this year we kind of renovated it, took everything out, and then replanted with new stuff. And then one of our awesome employees built a butterfly hutch. So when we start to find caterpillars, we can put them in there with some of the stuff that they need to eat, so we can watch them go through that metamorphosis process of going from caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly.
And the public can see that as well?
Yes, it's out in our nursery lot, right
That's
by
great.
the big gazebo out there, and that's our pollinator center. There's a lot of information in there, and a movie.
Awesome.
There's a little movie you can watch on monarch butterflies in the pollinator center.
So is that, we're seeing the educational gazebo?
Yes, that's it. And our staff worked really hard on this all winter and into spring, and just lots of great information about what to do in your own yard to help the pollinators.
And there it is on your screen for anyone who's watching right now or just listening. You can see on the screen some of the things that you can learn or family members can learn just by checking out the gazebo, the educational gazebo at Wallace's, which I think is great. I mean, everything that you guys do, I think every time you come on the show, I learn about something that you provide and a service that you do for the community, and it's fabulous. Wallace's Garden Center is located on Devil's Glen Road in Bettendorf. They've just got a huge building there. The address and the phone number are there on your screen. You can always find Wallace's on Facebook by heading to Wallace's Garden Center, and they also have the website of the same name, wallacesgardencenter.com. And don't swat at the bees, right?
That's right.
Don't
Yep.
swat at
And
the
this
bees.
weekend we're having sales on perennials. So if you want to start a pollinator garden, we can help you, and we'll have a food truck from 11 to 2.
And ask questions, because you guys are really helpful when it comes to
Yes.
us newbies out there.
A lot of knowledge from
Yeah,
our staff.
Kate.